Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to reactive form in Angular, where we will be seeing how to utilize form group with setValue. So by the end of this session, you will be able to understand what is setValue, why do we need to use it with form group, and what are the rules and regulations that we should consider while utilizing setValue. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic. Because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on how to use reactive form group with setValue. And to make the things easier for you, you can also refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box, where you will find more than 3000 plus resources, and this book is completely free for all of you. So at your own convenience, you can use it without any language barrier. Okay. Alright, so let's get started. Here you can see currently I'm in app.component.html file, where I have mentioned my main heading as Angular course by Sharmit, and then we have secondary heading that shows reactive form in Angular form group with setValue. So this is our today's agenda, and then we have two horizontal rows. So these horizontal rows are not mandatory at all. This is just for the purpose to show the form properly on the browser. That's it. Okay, but if you want to skip it, that is also fine. Okay, now to design or to demonstrate this thing, what we will do, firstly we will understand the requirement, because once requirement is clear, then we are good to go ahead and write the logic by our own itself. Okay. Alright, so the requirement is very simple and straightforward. I want to create two input field, and in those two input field, let's say name or email, whenever I click on set value button, there should be one button on my screen. When I click on set value, it should automatically assign some value to this these two fields, and this operation should be performed with the set value only. Okay, so don't worry if it is not clear. By the time when we will design the things, you will be able to understand it. So but with overall description, one thing is clear, that we have two input fields and one button. So let's design accordingly. So for that, we will go to app.component.ts file. Here in this section, in import section, we will write reactive form module, because this is priority of our TS file. Like firstly, if you want to create a reactive form module, you should import it, right? So it is imported. Now after this, what we will do, we will simply expand this thing here, and here we will define user form, where we will mention user form equals to new form group. So here I am defining my first form group, and opening closing parenthesis, inside this opening closing curly braces, and then here you can put a semicolon and just expand it. Okay, now inside this we will define the controls for our two fields. You know about the two fields, first is name and the second one is email. So accordingly we will define. So here I will write name. In name I will mention form control, then but before that there should be new form control, opening closing parenthesis, single quotes, 1 comma, and after a comma I want to make sure that this field should be mandatory, it should not be empty. Okay, so in that case I will use the validators, although it depends on completely on the requirement. If you want to skip that is also fine, but I just want this kind of validation, that's why I kept it here. Okay, fine. So name is added. Now we will add the email here, where we will mention name, form control, opening closing parenthesis, then single quotes, default value as blank, and then we'll write here validators dot required. Fine. So these two fields are ready. So remember one thing, when we declare these two things, form control is automatically imported. So what all things are imported? Form control, form group, reactive forms module, and validators. Okay, so these all things are ready. Now after this, what we will do, we will create one method, and that method will help us to set the values. Okay, so let's define it. So here I will write set data. This is my method name, opening closing parenthesis, curly braces. Inside this I will write this, let me give one enter, this dot user data, user form, sorry, dot set value. So this is the main method, okay, set value. And look it carefully, V is capital here, then opening closing curly braces, parenthesis, then a curly braces, then press enter. Here we need, you can see currently it is throwing error because we haven't added the required thing. There should be all, this is the main rule, it should contain this set value should hold values for all the controls that are defined in a group, otherwise it will show error. Okay, so let me write it like this, name, user name, then here we will write assign the value as Sharmit, then a comma, then we will write here email, then a colon, and you can see when I put the second field it automatically removed the error. Okay, so I just write test@email.com. perfect. So always make sure to add semicolon wherever it is required, and other than this maybe we can also add one log value just to log the values on console. So console.log, here I will write name and email just to show user properly, and then we will write here this dot user form dot value, and we need a comma here because we are concatenating it with string. Perfect. So now this method part is ready. So what this method part will mainly do, it will assign, whenever user click on set data button, it will assign Sharmit in name and email in email. Okay, test@gmail in email. Okay, but remember, in set value, if you remove any of the one value, it will throw error. Why? Because for entire group it will make sure that all fields should be set here inside this method. If any of the value is missing, it won't allow you to do the further updates. We will verify that once we move to the output. So let's go to app.component.html file. Here quickly we will design the form because we want to verify it as soon as possible. So here we will write form group, then comma, here I will write user form, then ng submit, let me write it properly, ng submit, yeah, then we will write here set data, opening closing parenthesis. Was it set data or something else? Not sure why it is throwing error. It should be set data only. Let's copy it. Okay, maybe this was some case insensitivity. Set data, perfect, now it is okay. So here inside this we will add the label. First label is for name, so I'll write name, then one input field. In input field I will mention type as text, then we will mention here form control name. In form control name I will write name. Okay, then we will simply copy these two things just to save the time, and I'll edit it for the email because most of the things would be same only. We will just change the label and here the type and here the variable name. That's it. Rest of the things are same. Okay, now after this what we will do, we will add one simple button that will help us to submit the data. So I will write submit data. That's it. And here we will write type as submit, type submit. Perfect. So this piece of code is ready. Now let's verify this thing. So ng serve -- open, enter. Just wait for a few seconds, then it will show you the output in the browser screen. So you can see here we have Angular course by Sharmit as main heading, reactive form in Angular, form group with set value, one horizontal row, label, first field, label 2, second field, submit button, and one horizontal row. Now I'll do right click, inspect, console. The moment when I submit data, you can see it automatically filled this value with Sharmit and test@gmail.com. So basically what is happening here, when we click on submit, it call this method, and as per this method it will set the value as Sharmit and test@gmail.com. Now some of you might be thinking, what will happen if I key in something different? Let's say ABC and ABC@abc.com. Again, in this case also, because we have only one button to submit the form, and the moment when I submit it, it will automatically submit with the set value and automatically set the value. So in short, let's say there are conditions where you don't want user to update the values. In that case, what we can do, we can make these input field disabled, and will provide only one button for submit data. Maybe rest of the fields would be separate of the group, which are not in the group, so their user can fill the data and then submit it. So on in these two fields which is in the group, it will automatically set the value. So this is the overall process. But one very important thing you should know, because before we move to the path value, you should know about it. Here you are not supposed to fill only one value. Let's say if you want to set only one value, so it will throw you the error. Okay, same goes here. Like you will see that it is showing email is missing in type. So always make sure that all the form control value. Same goes with name. If you remove the name part, it will show. So if you refresh it, submit the data, I think it is not saved. Yeah, so now you can see name is missing in the type. So always it will look for the entire group, and all form control should be set inside this, otherwise it will throw the error. So at the time of compilation also, you are at the time of code writing, you will see that it is highlighting it this. Why? Because it is not we have not completed or set the all fields of the form, and that is the that is why it is not throwing that is why it is throwing the error. Clear? So I hope this session is clear to all of you, where we learn how to use form control with set value. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.